we're calling our Actors Symposium. Okay. And we're starting out tonight with some of Atlanta's finest coaches.
Yeah,
Okay. I
yeah. So
mean,
if you're an actor, it's gonna be very informative, right?
absolutely. I
Very
mean, if you
informative.
you are ready for a treat tonight,
Yeah.
it is going to be a very dynamic show. Very, very dynamic. I'm excited. I've worked with these gentlemen at Ava Coaches in Atlanta for a period of
Speak
time.
both.
Absolutely,
Yeah, speak both.
absolutely.
Yes, most definitely.
And I'm excited to have the dialogue and conversation tonight. And we've been encouraging actors all week to come join in because
Mhm.
if you do the work, you'll be prepared for the job. But if
Right.
you ain't doing the work, you won't be prepared for the job.
And some of
And,
us are still striving.
well, absolutely.
We're
I mean,
still striving.
that's an actor's life.
And that is an actor's
That
life.
is an actor's life.
But you know what? It's so funny. Since we've been living out here in LA, you notice that there's because of the COVID situation, there's a situation where there's so much that is going on within the acting field where now it's going more digital. If you
Right.
know about, now there's with the situation with the COVID-19 and everything that's going on. I was talking to an actor, one of my customers came into the store today and he was in a feature. And I had asked him, how was it coming along? He said, now it's so tedious. Now that they're having to sign waivers, they're having to also check temperatures. Now I think it was Tyler Perry said he's doing quarantine sets for his actors just to keep them protected. But now it's a very serious matter, when it's boiling down to what's going on around with the pandemic. But things are still moving.
Absolutely.
Things are still popping. So, if you're an actor, listen, keep looking out for those auditions. They're still here. They're still moving. So don't get discouraged. Keep fighting the good fight. Keep studying. Keep striving. Keep pushing because at the end of the day, the work is out there.
Absolutely.
But also it's up to you to create your own art too as well.
Absolutely.
It is. It's very important to create your own foundation.
That's one of the things I'm getting really excited about getting into talking about tonight. This is gonna be opportunity really for this the theories. But anyway, let's just talk real briefly, because we don't want to spend too much time on our normal host chat. Horse chat, okay. Host chat. Not host chat, but host chat, okay.
So what you want to talk about? What's on your chest?
Well, we could talk about host chat because
you know what? Now, I think if you've been watching the show, you probably know where this is going to go. Right. So, y'all, let's get into the whole chat. Now, what's the whole chat? What's going on?
Well, I'm just over the video that we talked about last night because last biffed at this point because I'm so confused about the whole chat now.
Yeah. I'll get you. Let's talk about Miss Walk. Have you seen some WAPs come into yours?
No.
Have you seen some WAPs come in? Some WAPs in the house?
No.
You know of any WAPs in the house?
No, not a bit. Not a bit. But no, but seriously, I think this week has been another a very interesting one. We finally found out who is going to be who is the running mate for Joe Biden.
Oh,
and Kamala Harris is taking on the role. I'll reserve my opinions, but I'm glad for the Democratic Party that they have somebody that may be pushing the agenda forward.
Honestly,
on her conservative side, I think she's being able to pull to the Trump base. He's going to probably lose some people. Thank goodness. About that with her being on board. Now, as far as her record is concerned, a lot of people are on the outs because of her record and the things that she's done in the African American community and the Oakland area. So that's really out there, and they're trying to get past that at this particular point in time because her being a prosecutor, and she has, incarcerated a lot of people of color, during her time of prosecution, in that area. So they are really kind of putting that on the forefront, and asking how can she be, in this particular position.
Well, I feel like there's another birthing movement that's coming into play.
Okay.
And to me, I noticed a lot of things on my Facebook timeline where I'm hearing a lot of, conservative propaganda that's coming out about her background being Indian and being Jamaican, being an immigrant, and her not because of it not being qualified to be president. And there's a conspiracy out there that's coming out there saying, well, because Nancy, if she cannot be it, then Nancy Pelosi would be president if something was to happen to Biden. So, you get all this craziness that's coming out because it's bound to happen. I mean, if you think about when Obama ran for president, all the craziness would pass the right.
Right.
With him being at Harvard, one of his professors being a socialist, all of this stuff that was coming out, it was bound to come out about her schooling, her background, her ancestry, her not being American, not her being Black enough, not her putting more African American men in jail and prison, it's just this agenda that there's a distrust with her, and then we cannot trust her to be the vice president. Now, Biden has some issues too. Some situations with Biden as well, but people do change. And that's one of the things that I think people don't give him enough credit for. Now, he has talked off the side of his mouth. There's some things that I still get eerie about, certain things about. There was a situation some weeks back about you not being Black enough, or you're not being Black enough if you don't vote for him. Now, that was something I wish that somebody would have said, no, or somebody would have said, at least would have instructed him not to say. But Biden has that what you call old school mentality. When it comes down to whatever that comes out of his mouth is going to come out regardless. And that will probably, with Trump, it would bite him a little bit. But Trump is a fool himself, so it goes both ways.
And I get it. And here's the thing, and then because we don't want to dig too deep into that. We can go.
We don't want to dig too political in that situation.
And we'll kind of wrap it up with this particular point, unless you have another point behind it. Is that we've got to stop looking at people being perfect at the end of the day, and understand that these people are coming into office with flaws. All right, but the thing about it is that. Are we going to allow these flaws to prevent us from moving forward as a country? Because if at the end of the day, if everybody put all their flaws on a chalkboard, then nobody will be running off. People change. But ideas change. I'm trying to catch up. Ideas change, and then and people should be getting a point to be able to evolve. And I told this one guy, maybe we'll bring it back up after our discussion tonight, that put out the propaganda, what's propaganda, about what Biden said over 45 years ago, about certain things. And I responded to him on Facebook. I told you about that day, what he put out there, which at the end of the show, if there's enough room, we'll bring that back up. But I know our time is moving on, because I know we keep going this political thing.
Well, I want to put this last minute in this, but truth behind the truth. Americans, it's time for us to take accountability for our lives. Absolutely. At the end of the day, it's your vote that counts. It's you taking hold of the situation and doing your research. Don't go about what we're telling you, but go do your research. And let me tell you something. It's not only about the situation with the presidential election. Know about these senators and congressmen who are, who are being removed or who are going up for re-election. And know about your civic, your local and state and local level. Just know what's going on around you and make change. It's just we're in a situation right now where people need to start waking up and realizing that if you allow people to take control of the situation of your life, included things like this pandemic that could have been, have disappeared if somebody would have made the right choices. I'm telling you, it takes sometimes a minute to sit back and say, you know what, I don't like where it's going, and I need to make some changes. I need to take that step towards, doing that vote. So people vote. Vote.
Put on your damn mask.
And put on your mask.
Not put on your damn mask.
Oh, well, I'll let them say that.
All right, put on your damn mask, okay? Because we won't get into COVID issues again. But put on your damn mask, all right? Ladies and gentlemen, all right. It is that time. It's that wonderful time. First of all, you see it scrolling across your screen. Make sure you click on Facebook and get that Truth Behind Truth t-shirt. Okay, we ain't wear them tonight, but you know about them. We wear them every week. It's that Truth Behind the Truth t-shirt. It is a phenomenal thing for you to be telling about it gives you an opportunity to ask people questions about what is your truth behind your truth. Okay, get that t-shirt. Go get it. All right.
Yes.
We're gonna move on. It is time. It is that time, ladies and gentlemen. All right. To introduce to you some of my dear friends, my buddies, my confidants, my acting geniuses. Hey, sit back, get you a cup of cognac, or a cup of coffee, a cup of gin and tonic, get a vodka tonic, whatever you need to get. Okay, to get yourself relaxed for the conversation on this evening, to make it more exciting, especially you actors that are tuning in tonight. These are nuggets that you can't get in anybody else's class. I'm gonna tell you. Both of these gentlemen that we're about to introduce are available to you for one-on-one sessions. Okay, that's acting sessions. Now, let me get that quick. Now, let me clear that up. Acting sessions. Okay. Anyway, you know my humor, right? But anyway, but they're available for you guys. And if you really want to know, and which we'll get into tonight, the depth of developing characters, analyzing scripts, knowing the theory about so many things, what happens as an actor, you're going to learn a few things tonight. All right. But let me bring to you from Atlanta, from the Ava Coaches team, Dr. One and only Doctor slash I don't know what it's got to put before that, Dr. Earth and Dr. Coach Wesley. Yes. All right. We want to welcome them to Truth Behind the Truth. Yay!
All right.
Gave you that big build up now.
I mean, for real. Like, who is he talking about?
Yeah, right. That check is in the mail.
Okay, all right. You know,
people mail things there? No.
Yeah. I know, right?
Wait a minute. You hear that? What did you say again? Say that one more time. He said
people still mail? I said, people still mail stuff?
Oh, yeah, I know, right?
Well, make sure we got the right Cash App name.
Exactly. You know, Cash App.
But you know what? He got a point to that. Did they just pull on the mail bounces up?
I know, right?
Did they just pull the mail? I just thought about that. Wait a minute now. All right now.
I'm just saying.
I was watching the news. They were pulling them up. I was like, well, you know, you got a point. Do people still mail?
I know, right? Well, they here again. You know, the bills come. They like
the bills gonna come.
They want you to go paperless.
They're going to say for them bills.
I know, right? Well, gentlemen, I thank you guys for being a part of this great launch that we're getting ready to do. Just for our audience, I mean, this is the first, and we're probably going to be together on a couple shows, you know, kind of bringing out some things in the acting community and teaching you guys some great stuff. Now, let me these gentlemen have a wonderful acting weekly seminar that they do. Was it Wednesday nights, gentlemen?
Tuesday.
7 p.m. Tuesday nights on Instagram, right?
Actually, on Facebook, as well as the best way is YouTube, though. On YouTube and Twitch.
Okay. Who?
Twitch.
On Twitch. Oh, okay. All right.
I got a little twitch in your eye.
got a little twitch going on. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, it's a gaming platform primarily, but yeah, it's interactive. But YouTube is probably by far the best way to contact us.
Okay, fantastic. I mean, excited about that. Yeah. So as I was saying, we're starting what I'm calling an actor symposium. You have the four wisdom pieces right here. No matter where you are in your acting career, you can always learn from somebody. Okay. At the end of the day, anytime you're tired of learning, then you're tired of acting. Okay. At the end of the day.
Oh my God, you're so right.
Okay. You know, so but we want to encourage you different levels of that tonight. And then as the weeks go on with this particular platform we're starting, you're going to see a lot of working actors are going to be interviewed on our show. And we have this big symposium that are coming at in a few weeks, probably close to Thanksgiving, we will finally get together with that particular show, and some very strong people that are going to be a part of this, you know, as well. I would say every actor is strong, but we're all in development. Okay,
that's right.
So
not strong. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Well, strong. That's a strong in development. Strong in development.
Okay, yeah. Amen. Oh, I'm sorry. We're supposed to be politically correct. I'm sorry.
No, you don't have to be.
Okay.
You don't have to be.
But anyway, throw this out here right quick at no extra charge. I just wanted to say, we talked about this on our show, and I got to say it today. A lot of our actors, they have arrived in their minds.
Okay. I love it.
I love it. I just wanted to go and just put that out there at no extra charge. There are some of us who believe that we don't need to have any coaching or training or what have you. But let me tell you something, the coach has a coach.
The coach has a coach. Absolutely.
Absolutely. I apologize for interrupting your flow.
Oh, no. That's fine. I love that. The coach has a coach. Absolutely.
You know, a lot of people, a lot of people don't understand. A lot of these Oscar winners. You know, people like Meryl Streep. That's talk, and I'll use her as an example. She still says she still go to acting classes.
Right.
She says she does not miss an acting class for nothing. She still has to improve. Whether she is the greatest actress of all actresses, she still needs improvement. So, you know, I don't understand. Some of these pseudo actors, they do act like they have arrived in their mind, but it's just I don't know if it's just not being humble or being inspired to go to do better. You might know some, you know, techniques, but you might need to be pushed to knowing other things to improve.
Absolutely.
And I think that's what's wrong with the microwavable generation.
Yeah.
I think in some ways,
Donna, when you turn your head that way, we miss your sound.
oh, I'm sorry. Okay. I'm sorry. I want to go back as far as say that, you know, I think with my generation, we are too stubborn to be strong, not be strong, but be or to study in our craft. I think we get on that. You know, I can do that, but you don't know how long it took to prepare. It's layers, but I'm gonna cut it down a little bit. But I meant though, yeah, I think I agree with Coach Wood. I ain't there yet.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't there yet, but I can do better.
Right.
But I think turn to the mic. But
Now, is the mic hanging on you under you, darling? Wherever the mic is, turn to it, because when you turn your head the other way,
just keep.
Turn toward.
Sorry, guys, we just have a little technical issue.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, that's good right there. That's good.
That's
right there.
perfect. Okay, where did I leave off?
Okay.
What did I leave off? I know I left off somewhere.
But hold on a second. We're getting a little feedback in the studio from the movement in the studio. So if
from us?
From you guys, from our
Ish.
From our engineer.
Ish got issues.
Okay. We can hear you moving around in the studio. Sorry, guys. We're still here, audience. You know how it is when you're live. You just keep making adjustments.
But going back to what I said, I agree wholeheartedly with what you said, Coach West. I think a lot of us, and I was just gonna make this short, including in my generation, we feel like we don't need it because we see other people do it and we think it's easy, and it's not easy. You know, to build a character, it comes with layers.
Right.
But you know, a lot of people don't understand that takes a process.
Right.
You know, it's a metamorphosis and being let's just say being somebody else, but being the character. Right. And if that makes sense, or becoming the character. Right, exactly. But it's mostly being. Right. At least.
Well, Earth, did you want to say something?
I'm sorry, y'all.
Earth, did you want to go ahead?
No, hey, y'all doing an excellent job covering it right now. Yeah.
But I really wanted to say that simply because I have encountered so many people who have been making a decent living, being background talent.
Okay. I'm sorry.
And or at extras or whatever you want to call it, right?
Background's so preferred.
I love
backgrounds preferred. Okay, that works. But what I have encountered though is that sometimes these background talent specialists, will come to set.
I'm not going to do it to you tonight. Okay, but go ahead.
And then they regard the other people with arrogance. Now, that's not to say that folk who do background are not talented. I'm not saying that at all.
Right.
Heck, I will do background given the opportunity and time permitting, right? So that's not to say that anybody's better than the other. But what that does say to me, though, is we all should be in a constant state of learning and improving our crafts and so forth and so on. But there is no room, let me tell it, for anyone to come forth with any degree of arrogance. And and if I may, and I'm gonna be through, allow me to clarify the difference between arrogance and confidence.
Right.
Confidence has to do with you. Arrogance has to do with others.
Wow. Love
Confidence has to do with you knowing who you are, knowing your craft, knowing your stuff.
Right. And
you study and you become better and better at it. Yes. Or as I like to say, gooder and gooder.
Gooder and gooder.
And so you confident saying that I'm not less than anybody else. right? That's what confidence is.
Right.
Arrogance says that I'm better than you, or that
Wow.
you're less than me.
Exactly.
You understand what I'm saying? And so there's a thin line, and some people have a difficult time differentiating between the two. But when it involves somebody else and their lesser talent or whatever than you think you have, then that's arrogant and that's not attractive. And then it also makes you highly unmarketable and difficult to work with, and folks don't want to hire you.
And there are quite a few people out there that are in that category. Well, you know, I think touching on what you just said about that alone, as an actor, you have to be confident because you have to go into approaching whatever role of that script, the confidence you'll be able to play that character. However, the humility, you know, preceding that, I think is one of the things that helps people get booked. That's just my opinion. But casting directors say, well, you know, they may do the lines, but they like to see the humility behind the person, you know, that is portraying that character, because that at least says to them that this person wants the job, you know what I mean, and not necessarily trying to. What I'm the words I'm looking for. I guess I'm saying just the humility behind it, because I know more people to get booked by the humility, sometimes even better than the craft that they're presenting. You know, because at least these people, at least the casting director and the directors, are just somebody they can work with. Because if you are able to be worked with, then you're moldable. Is what I'm trying to say. You know, at the end of the day, I mean, would you agree?
Yeah, I totally agree, and I tell some of my students that, you know, your audition does not begin when you stand before the casting directors.
Right.
And which is highly unlikely nowadays, because most times you audition virtually, right?
Right, exactly.
In actuality, your audition begins once you say, I'm going to respond to this posting. I'm going to submit for this role.
Right.
That's when your audition begins, in your email or in whatever correspondence that comes across. If they're misspelled words and so forth and so on, then that is a reflection of who you are, right?
That's true.
Then should you have the opportunity to come live, then your audition does not begin when you get in front of them. It begins when you get out your car and realize.
Right, absolutely. Right.
You know, because you don't know who it is, how you interact with folks and so forth. Directors, producers, and casting directors, they want to know that you're somebody that's pliable, that they can work with, that has a good attitude. And nowadays there's a big surge about energy, right? So energy is everything. What is your energy saying? What kind of energy are you bringing into the room?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm gonna stop because I can go on like that.
You're fine. But just piggybacking off what you were saying, but you know, I mean, and the thing about it is, and maybe let's kind of open up a little bit more discussional pieces, and that we can all kind of speak from, is that, you know, you mentioned about background acting and that aspect of it, and then, you know, people moving from that arena hopefully to, you know, speaking role, you know, and then hopefully moving into maybe a guest star and then a principal role, and so on and so forth. But all of that in between takes a lot of work before you get to a principal. And a lot of people think that they go from background to principal. A lot of them think that, you know, if they audition to get one line, that they've already arrived. You know, all they need is arrive to sit. Okay. Because that's it. All right, you've arrived to set. Because most of this, and I think Earth and I have, most of the time experiences as day players. You know, as you'll come in, the little PA will greet you. You'll go to a honey wagon. It's a 2x2. Okay, you know, they'll hand your wardrobe. Your name is taped across the door. Not it's signified, but taped across the door. So once you're through, they'll pull the tape off. You know, and send you on your way. All right. However, the thing about it is that when you get to set, most people that book their first, you know, day player role per se, you know, be it one line or four, you know, they come in and they think like, oh my God, where's my chair? You know, I have a chair with my name on it, you know, all this other thing. And the director or the AD will tell you, you see that little folding chair over there? You know, go have a seat. We'll call you when we're ready for you, you know? And what they're watching, as we started off at the end of the day, is what your character is coming to set for the very first time. Because what you should be doing, this is information for you guys, what you should be doing is to being humble at that point, hoping that they'll invite you back again. You know, making sure that you do things that are going to support the character that you're in the scene with. Typically, if you're in a character in the scene with the lead character, then it's your job to help them look good, because you become a supporting asset to the scene. Okay, yeah, the scene is not about you at the end of the day. Now, it could be about you in the aspect of how you support the main actor. But a lot of times individuals go into this individual thinking that they are the main actor, and they're not. Henceforth, I had I was doing the background some years ago on one set, and this young lady came to set, and she really got it. She walked up to the AD, and she was a day player. I think she was actually playing a news reporter. Okay, so she came in, the PA walked her into set, and all that type of stuff. And the main cast was sitting in, of course, in the director seats, whatever. And the same story I was telling you said earlier. She walked up and she said to the AD, she walked to the AD, and she said, "Well, where's my chair?" And he stopped. He paused, and he said, "What do you mean?" And she said, "Well, where's my?" She said, "Every actor has a chair." And he said, "They do have a chair, but you can go over. You see those little black chairs over there? You can go get one of those and sit down, and we'll call you when you need you." So her whole demeanor changed, and she realized at that particular point in time that it wasn't about her. So the point is that it takes work to get to have a chair. Okay, what's your name on it? All right. At the end of the day, it takes a lot of work to get there. Please, actors, if you book a day player role, go with. It's not about you. It's about you supporting the team, the AD, the gaffers, and everything that goes into that. You become the humble person on set, so they can invite you back for another opportunity in that. So that was my point about that. Jasmine?
But I wanted to, in the American entertainment, the trappings is so people want to be important, but I'm surprised. Well, that too, but just they want to be important, are celebrities. But I feel like at the end of the day, actors are high-priced servants, high-paid servants. Okay. I feel like
servant of the craft.
You're a servant of the word. Right. I think that's one thing that we. I don't know if that's been taught in universities where acting is taught. Right. But I know from Miss Tania Stewart, Dr. Tania Stewart, the lady that played Samuel L. Jackson's wife in A Time to Kill. Mm-hmm. She told us all in class one day. She said, "Y'all are all actors. You're all servants of the word. Somebody wrote those words for you to play. You're not above that." So if somebody tells you, if a director tells you to do a certain thing, you go by what that director tells you. You don't get big-headed, because understand they can always get rid of you and go find the next person. You are still a servant. And I think that's one thing people forget. Now, people who do not know the hierarchy of the acting world, they don't get it. They don't understand it. That's like okay, let's just take this off of acting. It's like you going into a job. There's a store manager, there's a shift manager. There's a hierarchy. Right. And at the end of the day, it goes from the top and it works itself down to the bottom. Right. If you are a day player and you're coming in on that let's just say on that scene where you're having to just walk in and walk out, you still have to get direction from the actual director, right? So if you come in acting like, well, you know what, I'm now above it all because I now can be seen, then you have missed the point. Right. But I think a lot of us, not a lot of me, but I think a lot of them missed the point, but I still think that's the ego, or the showing the trappings in itself. Right. People want to
everybody wants to be, as we always say, a star.
A star. Everybody wants to be a star.
A star. Okay, so but we have
a movie star.
But anyway, so let's dig into a little bit deeper into this, and let's talk about a little bit more theory and where we're coming from in that. I know, Earth, you are a philosopher of so many different areas of theory. I did post a couple of bit of the theories that are out there, and maybe we can dig into that a little bit and help everyone understand the purpose of the acting world in terms of theory. You know what I mean? And how to make that applicable to what they're doing in the development.
Well, I don't know if that was a question or a statement, but
it was.
I can tell you want me to say something.
Exactly.
Well, I say this, man. When it comes to acting and the type of actors that you're referring to, the ones that come on set and they already have the attitude and stuff like that.
Yes.
Personally, I don't even waste my time with those types of actors because their career will be short-lived.
Okay.
If you would even consider it a career.
Uh-huh.
You see what I'm saying? So for me, and those type of set etiquette is what we're talking about at this point, right? Exactly. And if you don't have set etiquette, then in my opinion, there's no conversation to be had.
Right.
Like, to be honest with you, you should have learned it at home, not in acting class. Wow. I mean, when you in somebody else's house, you learn the rules. You ask, should I take my shoes off before I come in the house? Right. Instead of just walking in the house. You see what I'm saying?
Right. Exactly.
You ask first. You know what I mean? If you come to my house and you don't take your shoes off, you're going to get hit. And then not by my dad. It'll be by my mama. You understand? So, you know what I mean?
Right.
And it's the same raggedy carpet that's been in there for years, but you still better take your shoes off.
Take your shoes off, right? Exactly.
So getting into the theory of things, I'm more along the lines of what Dylan was talking about earlier, which is that due to the situation we're in now with COVID, we're all starting to take advantage of the technological advancements that we all are privy to if we take the time to study, communicate with other people who are more technologically advanced than we are, and really learn the things that you could do. So, and I say all that to lead into this. I am more into promoting making your own films, making your own web series, stuff like that. Because here's the deal. We're gonna get to it. Let's get to it. All right. So the way I look at it is this. I'm a businessman, right? And so when I look at the entertainment industry, it's dying. You see what I'm saying?
True.
It's like I heard I wish I could think of his name right now. But this was back in the day, like old Oprah when she was big and little, same show. You know what I mean? That Oprah, you know what I'm talking about?
Right, I was big and let's say no way.
Right, same show. You come after these commercial breaks, you come back, she done lost 30 pounds. She goes to another commercial break right as she gave the cause, and she gained all 30 back. You feel me?
That was a skinny camera.
That was before CGI, you know what I mean? But that during that time period, there was another guy who would come up and he would talk about how we need to educate young Black men to do more than have the aspiration of sports. And so the way he broke it down was something like, I don't know. It was my numbers are not going to be correct because I can't, recite him verbatim, but it was something to the kin of there in the United States, there may be 250,000 high school football players that get a scholarship to college. Right. That probably was wrong. It's probably 250,000 is playing football, varsity football. Out of them, maybe 50,000 gets a scholarship to college. Out of the 50,000 get a scholarship to college, maybe 5,000 or something like that will make it to be able to try out for the NFL, right? To the combines. Then out of that, maybe only 2,000 or 1,000 will make it to the NFL. But out of the 1,000 that make it to the NFL, only 70 will make it to retirement. Retirement happens within 4 years of the NFL, right? According to him, something like that. 4 years, 7 years, something like that. Right. So out of that, you're talking about maybe 70 guys has a career. But basically, we have 250,000 people trying to audition for 70 jobs.
That's true.
You see what I'm saying? That's essentially that's what he was trying to get at. And you have to excuse my numbers are not correct, but you get the point though. You know what I mean?
Right.
That we're going after so little amount of jobs that it's impossible for you to think that you're going to be successful in this. So I guess what I'm trying to say is this. So when it comes to acting, there's so much more you could do if you took away the Hollywood gaze. You see what I'm saying?
Right, exactly.
And you could start to create your own content and produce money from that content that you're creating.
Right.
Now, you're not going to get a $22 million check that's written by somebody else, but you could get a $22 million check that's written to you.
Right. Yes. Yes.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes. Absolutely.
And the other thing that I want to say too is I think now me and some of my other comrades, if you will, you feel me? Okay. Some of the other colleagues, they don't agree with me on this point, but I tell them go to hell too. So, right. Here's what I think. Right, I don't believe that the movie industry as we know it or has known it in the past will survive. It can't survive because you think about this. Back in the day, right? And when I say back in the day, we're talking at this point. Let's see, Netflix was strong. What, about 2005, 6, somewhere around there? Yeah, somewhere around there. 2005, 2006, somewhere around there. Prior to that, we were still buying DVDs.
Right.
Right. Yeah. You could still go to the movies. Like we were still vying on whether or not we were going to go to a matinee to save money. Right.
Right. Exactly. True.
Right. But our choice was to go to the movies.
Right.
Or we going to the bootlegger. Right. You see what I'm saying? One of the two.
Probably to the bootlegger 9 times out of 10.
Right. We either going to the movies or we going to the bootlegger. And if you was going to buy some alcohol, you was probably going to the bootlegger because the bootlegger is right in front of the alcohol. Right. But my point is this though, it was still a flourishing industry because we only had two choices to watch that new Transformer movie.
So true.
You was either going to the movies or you was going to the bootlegger.
Right.
But now you got Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime. Everybody's getting in on the streaming services. HBO got one. Cinemax got one.
Right. Apple got one.
Apple got one. Walt Disney got one.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? I even seen one today. I mean, it's not a streaming service, but they becoming one. If you know about the news app called Flipboard.
Yes.
Yeah. They're starting a streaming service.
Really?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's like when you look at it from the standpoint of economics. The value of let's say the Hollywood movies and the way that we've made it in the past is a metaphor for the American dollar. It's losing value. You see what I'm saying? Right. Because it's being spread too thin. Right. You see what I'm saying? Why would I go pay $15, $20 to go see a movie when I can pay $15 and see as many movies as I want to on Amazon or Netflix or any of those other shows? You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So the industry itself, it cannot sustain itself. That's why they have Hollywood has to make movies. And this is a very important point that all actors need to understand. You see what I'm saying? Is Hollywood has to make movies that are $250, $300, $500 million films. Right. They have to because most of the films they make lose money.
That's true.
You see what I'm saying? So you got to make a $500 million film in order to render a $1.5 billion profit, or not profit, but revenue. So you can take that $500 million and pay off the previous expenses that it took to make the movie. Right. But then you also got to pay off them other $200-300 million that you lost on those other movies.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Exactly. So if you make a movie that's $500 million and it only makes $700 million, okay, you got a $300 million profit, but you lost $8 million in the past. You see what I'm saying? So you're really at a $5 million deficit.
Right. Exactly.
We got Hollywood. In order for Hollywood to survive, it has to produce billion-dollar movies, not million, billion-dollar movies. You see what I'm saying? We're not making billion-dollar movies. You know what your billion-dollar movies are? Your Marvels, X-Men, a whole bunch of motherfuckers that don't exist.
Right, exactly. Well, that's true.
You see what I'm saying? There ain't no such thing as Wolverine. You feel me? You feel me? The closest thing to Wolverine is Trump's hairstyle. That's it.
You know what? Okay.
Wait a minute.
Well, you know.
But let me say this though. Let me say this though. So the reason I bring that up though is because on the higher level, there's no money in it. But on the
Right.
lower level, there's a lot of money in it.
A lot of money. That's
You
true.
see what I'm saying?
So true.
If me, Coach, Darlin, and JB decide to make a movie, but we not gonna spend a lot of money on it.
Right.
We not gonna spend no more than, let's say, $3,000 on this movie. Now we're gonna have to be real frugal to make this movie on $3,000.
Amen.
Right.
Yeah.
But we can make a movie on $3,000 if we make the movie story driven. You see what I'm saying?
Wow.
It's not special effects driven, it's
Right.
story driven.
Story driven. Exactly.
You feel me?
Exactly.
Because when you look at some of the best movies that's on Netflix,
Right.
it's not a lot of special effects.
That's true.
You see what I'm
That's
saying?
true.
It's
Right.
story.
Right.
You feel me? So
Right.
now is a great time for unknown actors, because unknown actors fits the profitability business plan that you
Right.
got to have, right? Because I can't
Exactly.
pay to have Will Smith in this movie. He costs too
Right.
much. I put
Right.
Will
Exactly.
Smith in one section of the film, we over budget.
Right. Right.
You feel me?
Right.
One, that's it. All he got to do is walk into the gas station,
That's
and
what
I'm
I'm
already
talking
over
about.
budget.
Exactly. Yeah, over budget. Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna hire
Right.
Will Smith. I'm gonna hire this dude over here who kind of look like Will Smith.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm gonna do.
So-
I'm gonna bootleg Will Smith. You feel me?
Right. So let me ask you this. Let me throw this out there real quick. So, in the casting perspective of this, what we run into a lot of times is that these casting directors on the lower level, as we were just saying, for the sake of the conversation, non-union based. The one thing that I don't think that's fair to actors, and some of the actors will agree, is that they're expecting a Will Smith actor for a no budget price.
Oh my
right.
God.
Okay,
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying? So what can we say to, even these casting directors that are looking, or these independent casting directors that think that they are the Jackie Birches and all of the higher name, casting directors? Why are you putting these higher expectations on these actors and you're not paying them to come to set, or you're paying them to take them to these levels?
Well, I would say this. I would tell actors out there, don't worry about them.
Mhm.
Okay.
They're already dead. Let
Wow.
them die. You understand what I'm
Gotcha.
saying? Don't even
Gotcha.
waste your time with people. Like, let me tell you something. You ever heard of Nollywood?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So let me throw some numbers at you. The top two highest producing movie makers, production houses
Uh-huh.
in the world is
Yes.
Bollywood and
Yes.
Nollywood.
Nollywood. Yes.
You see what I'm saying? Nollywood is making 50, just hear me out now.
Okay.
50,000.
Wow.
50,000 movies a month.
Producing 50,000.
They're producing
50,000
50,000 movies
movies
per month. They're 5% of the national GDP
Wow.
Where's Nollywood located?
in Nigeria.
Nigeria.
Yeah, they know. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, he talks to the audience. But
yeah,
5% of the national GDP, dog. Like, just think about that. The people who are beating Nollywood's film industry is agriculture.
What?
Agriculture, dude. Like, in order for you to eat, food is the only thing, or one of the few things that's beating their film industry. That's how much that's why if you go on Netflix, this is business show, not show business.
Right.
You see what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
You're right. Exactly.
And all actors, producers, everybody needs to understand the business of it. And then you can get out your feelings, you feel me, if you understand the business of it.
Absolutely.
But when you don't understand the business of it, then you can show up in your feelings. That's why I said those other people ain't worth my time.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
The casting directors that are casting people knowing that your expectations is outrageous, you already dead. You won't be here for long.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Because you can't everybody down the line from above the line to below the line.
Right.
Everybody above the line and below the line is about money. And if you're not
Absolutely.
participating in this calculus that's equating to profit, you got to go.
That's true. You're right. You can say that again. This and just not a commercial, but just kind of enhance it to our audience. But guys, this is very valuable information. You're wanting to be in front of the camera, and you're really wanting to do all of the things that, as we mentioned, kiddingly, but yet seriously about. But you've got to know the inner workings of the business. at the end of the day. You got to really know where your check is coming from, how to move yourself in that. And like Coach Eartha mentioned, is that what can you do to start developing your own content?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
What can you put out there that's going to actually get you noticed to a certain degree? You know, I see a lot of people on Instagram nowadays putting their little shorts out there, and not little shorts, not booty shorts, but shorts, shorts out there. You know, in terms of yeah, I know, right? But you know, and there's shorts in their films, but you never know how you're going to get noticed. Now, I'll paperclip that just for a second. Now, one of the prominent casting directors in Atlanta had. She does a Instagram post, you know, every day, kind of speaking from who she generally casts for. And the question came to her about what should an actor do in terms of their social media base. She feels that having a strong social media base does not profit an actor. I was like, really? That's very interesting, because you have so many, you know, actors that are thinking that they are going to have, you know, this great following to get them cast because of their social media base. And then they start doing kind of, quote unquote, I won't say obscure things, but they started showing themselves shirtless and, you know, and bodiless and all that type of stuff to get themselves discovered. Well, yeah, they do. You know, I mean, on Instagram, they do things that they put themselves out there in ways that, in my opinion, that is not perfecting their craft. That ain't getting an audience. But is that really the true audience is going to perfect you and put you in your craft, in your position? Now, they may get you a porn star. You may become a porn star.
My OnlyFans page. My OnlyFans page.
I was going to say that, but see, I'm not going to bring that up.
But here's the thing. Even though, and I'm going to say this, and I get what you guys are saying with that. Even with that, see, the thing about it is that there's still with this industry, it comes with integrity. Okay, and I'm not saying that people choose to make their lives and their money that way, but to make that narrative to come back and try to be on full screen, it ain't gonna happen. I'm telling you, because people are not gonna cash you after you had an you know, was it my friend OnlyFans page, you know what I'm saying, and getting all of that, whatever you get from it. You making money, okay, gotcha. But at the end of the day, people don't want to, you know, I'm telling you, casting directors are not going to see all your goods, you know, presented in their film.
It depends.
Okay.
It depends.
Right.
We got Weinsteins. Now, I don't know how you got still some of them out there. So you know, hey, that's a different situation. Right. That's not OnlyFans, but that's a different situation. But I get what you're saying. It's a situation.
Yeah, but you have to, I mean, what do you really, and the question goes back to it goes back into what we're talking about. So where's the integrity? You know what I'm saying? Where's the integrity? And to your point, Eric, if you're going to produce something, you got to have a great level of integrity with that project that you're putting out there, because you want to get noticed. You know, you want somebody to come back like Coach Eartha. He got maybe, you know, 10 million that you want to put aside to help somebody get the film. You know what I'm saying? I'm speaking to your future Earth, okay? You know what I'm saying? But you're going to look at the integrity and the quality of this person put out there. You know, and then you're gonna say, "Well, Hammer, sit down." But if they come to you and all of a sudden you find out that they've had this huge what is it? I keep saying my friend's page, OnlyFans page. It's not okay. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to be one that I'm thinking. Now you can correct me on this, that you're going to put your money behind, because with them is coming that integrity. You know, and well, I mean, am I kind of speaking out of turn, or what do you think?
Well,
I mean, go ahead.
I would say this. It really just kind of depends on your market, because some people,
I agree,
they welcome someone who may have an OnlyFans page or a Connect Pal or what have you, because that sends their ratings up. Now, I will say the casting director said that the social media following stuff does not add to your credibility as an actor.
Right.
I don't know so much if I agree, or didn't really have much weight in terms of casting, because I just have seen several people that have been cast and have been privy to situations where casting directors have told folk who are talented that because their following was not substantial enough, then they are overlooked for that particular role.
Wow. So let me ask you this. I like you. So all of us are in some way or other on our show that are filmmakers. I mean, you know, I'm a director, you know, you're definitely a filmmaker, director, producer. Wes, you are a director, you coach of stage, film. You have a solid background in stage and film as well. But my question would be is that would this be something that we would encourage somebody to do as something, a project we put together? I know, Earth, you and I were talking the other day about a project you put together, and where, how you were looking at your actors for that particular project. Would you consider somebody that comes from that genre of acting to be in a project of yours?
What do you mean?
Well, what I mean,
are we talking about porn?
Well, that you
like this.
Well, I guess it could be porn, but they show their goodies, and yeah, sometimes it's porn. And
so let's just go with porn, and let's just take the worst.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. So
Okay.
let's just say you're the type of person who, like, there's video with you putting genitalia down your throat. There it is.
Right.
All right. We can't get no further than, you know what I mean? It is what it is. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Right. And we shooting at 60 frames per second.
Right. Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? So yeah, we got it. Okay.
Right.
Yes is the answer. I would have no problem putting a person like that in my film because talent. Okay, here's the deal, right? Talent is talent, right? Regardless of what you've done in the past. Personally, I don't care about what you've done. I do care about how it would reflect on the project.
Now that's okay. Exactly.
You feel me? But hear that from both sides.
Right.
Because if it helps the project, then I'm gonna put you in it.
Okay.
If it hurts the project, I'm not gonna put you in it.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? It has nothing to do. It has nothing to do with what you did, but it has everything to do with what you did.
Right. Exactly. I got you.
You get what I'm saying? Because again, this is a business. You see what I'm saying? Right. So at the end of the day, we can say this. We can give a lot of credit to Kylie Jenner.
Yes.
You feel me? We can give a lot of credit to the mama. You can give a lot of credit to the one that's married to a rapper. I don't know, that might be Kylie Jenner. Or Kim. But the point I'm getting to is, think about this. Kim was the one who really set the Kardashian family off.
True. Absolutely.
But that's Kim did that with her ass in the air.
Right. That's true.
It was up, it was high.
That's the way Kim did it.
Lift it up.
Right. That's true.
If she had not come out with that tape, we didn't know who the Kardashians were, because
we know who she is now.
Because prior to that, the Kardashian family was known because the father was a great attorney.
Yeah. Right.
You see what I'm saying? But what really blasted them into the entertainment world was her sleeping with Ray J. That whole sex tape.
Appreciate it.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So again, again, you got to look at it like this. It's a business. You know what I mean? And we can go all the way back to Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn Monroe slept with the president of the United States.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? And she took that, and well, she already had a good career, but then she took that and went way past that. But what you don't hear is when Marilyn Monroe stopped working for a while and went and studied with Harold Meisner. And then she came back, and that's when she did her most pivotal roles. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So So at the end of the day, it's about talent. You see what I'm saying? Right. You got to have the talent. Number one. First of all, okay, let's go back a little bit more, right? You done started this, right? Number one in film is you got to have the look.
Yeah, that's true.
You see what I'm saying? It doesn't, and that's what I try to tell a lot of people is, just because you didn't get a role has nothing to do necessarily. Now it could be, you could just suck. You know what I'm saying?
Right, okay.
But it doesn't necessarily mean that you suck. It could mean that you was too tall, you were too short, you were too good looking, you were too. You were overweight. You see what I'm saying? It's a lot of other things that it could be that has absolutely nothing to do with your talent. Now it could also be your talent, but you got to understand that this is a visual medium.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? It's not talk radio. This is a visual medium. So if you don't have the look, then we can't get past that. Right. You see what I'm saying? Now once we get past the look, now we're into the talent and whether or not you can. Well, this has changed, but it used to be asses in seats. Now to be eyes on screens. You see what I'm saying? Now we're looking into that. It follows a business structure. You see what I'm saying? But we put too much emotion in a business.
Gotcha.
You see what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
It's very simple. Gotcha. If it makes business sense, we're going with it. If it don't make business sense, we're not going with it.
That's right.
Period.
And if I may interject to that too, if you're going to be in this business model as an actor that's on that screen, then or on that stage or whatever, make sure that what you're presenting is something that the people want to see.
Right.
And that you give them excellence in everything that you do.
Right.
And I say this across the board, whether it be acting, whether it be plumbing, or what have you. Make sure that you do your very best, and if your best isn't good enough, then you go learn,
Right.
and get gooder at your best.
Good segue. So let's move into learning capabilities. Let's talk about the learned of the craft and inspiring people to dig in more. Now, our I guess our mentor and hero, I guess I would say UNI Earth, because we studied with him, which is Greg Allen Williams, which is Actors Breakthrough for you guys right there in Atlanta. If you're not using these two wonderful coaches here independently to develop yourself, and if you want to be in a class setting for someone that really just doesn't play as an acting teacher and demands you to work in the process of your development. I mean, am I agree?
Absolutely.
You throw shoes at y'all?
No.
I'm about to say, I know some who throw shoes. I know people who throw shoes at folks. Yeah. But keep going.
And the thing about it is that one thing for sure is that, and then we'll dig into that in just a second, is that we are all have been taught by someone.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And we all have the skill set to bring out the better in someone else. So with that being said, I think that one of the things I loved about when Ava Coaches was as an assembled group is that we had great theory among the three of us collectively that really brought about something that they don't get in any other class. And and just at the end of the day, because as much as I love Greg Allen never dug into the levels of theory that you would ever dig into her. He didn't do it in class. You know what I mean?
What happened with the classes?
Well, no, his classes took, but his philosophy was he taught actors, or he tried to bring the realness out of you as an actor, and then he cut away the things that made you look like something else. Yeah, am I correct, Earth?
Well, yeah. Well, one of the things that I would say is what I know that Greg does is he will teach you. He'll teach you theory, but he won't necessarily call out who the theory is coming from.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? But you got to understand this too, though. I think the reason he does that is because of the type of students that he usually gets. He's usually getting students who don't have an MFA. He has some that have them, but most students don't have the MFA.
What's an MFA?
They'll figure it out. So most of them don't have an MFA. No, I'm just messing with. I like to mess with Coach. This is my brother right here, but it's a Master of Fine Arts, right? Thank you. But most of them do not have a Master's of Fine Arts. You see what I'm saying?
This one right here.
I got a bachelor's. Well, okay.
So,
keep it going. Keep going.
Or you know what? I don't want to leave my brother Dialing out. They also don't have a bachelor. They don't have either one. All right. So the thing is this: if you start talking about some of these lesser known acting gods,
right?
I said acting gods, right? Because he own me when I say gods. Acting gods, right?
Right.
They don't know who you're talking about. You see what I'm saying? And when you in a classroom setting like Greg's, you're talking about anywhere from, depending on the day, 5 people may be in one class. You come back to that exact same class the next week, 35, 50 people in there. You see what I'm saying? And if he bring up that particular acting teacher who he's teaching you from that person's philosophy, now it's gonna go into a whole nother discussion about who this is, and you see what I'm saying? And we ain't got that much time. You see what I'm saying?
That's
so
true.
his goal is to get you ready to go perform in film and television.
Right.
And that's it. You see what I'm saying? So I just say that because I've had long talks with him. You know what I mean? And I know that man is, when I tell you he knows his stuff, he knows he is literally a thesaurus or dictionary of acting, man. Like he's because he comes from the theater.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I mean? He comes from theater.
Exactly.
So yeah.
Exactly.
And
exactly. Go ahead.
I would just like to add too, just as we are tooting his horn, that he, as an actor, I've had the opportunity, the pleasure, privilege, or whatever you want to call it, of working alongside him in both a stage play, a stage play as well as on film, and he is phenomenal.
That's my pit bull. We don't play that shit.
Yeah, I heard it in the background.
You hear my pit.
Period. he's phenomenal. He really
Exactly.
those characters, and he talks about the realness of the being that character. I mean, I've seen him play a role that was like Jesus,
Right.
and then I've seen him play a thug.
Right.
So yeah,
exactly. You know, and yeah, exactly. Well, you know, here's the thing, and that's a good kind of pivotal point to it as we talk about technique and training. You know, being able to move from one type of character to the other and really being successful at it. You know, and I think on you guys' show, he was talking about, or we brought up the fact that when he played the pedophile, which was something completely out of his norm and his scope of to dig in, to really to pull and to draw from that particular type of character, you know. So let's kind of, if we can interwove some theory into helping an actor develop that type of pivotal movement, what would you suggest? What type of study, what type of practices would you, I mean, collective question between the two of you, what would you say?
Who you want to take it first?
I mean, it doesn't matter. It's up to you guys. Coach, which one do you want to go first?
Okay, no problem. I did have the opportunity to play the role of the pedophile. And when I tell you that it is no joke, it's no joke. Now, okay, I teach a principle called transparency.
Exactly.
Which is a culmination of several of the acting gods, small g, their teaching styles and techniques. The Stanislavski, along with Chubbuck,
yes,
just being able to internalize, go inside, and look. Now, here's one of the major principles. I mean, three things. You said earlier about we got to trust the word that's coming forth on that script, right? So I sometimes jokingly say that it's from a scripture for like the Bible, right? So it's law. It is what it is. So you got to trust that word that's written there, and so you can't judge that role that you're portraying.
Right.
Okay, you don't. Right. You no longer exist when you become transparent. Then you look inside of you. You erase everything about you that is you, and then you become that character. Right.
Right.
And so as you have now become that character, have downloaded that backstory of that character, there may be some traits that you have experienced, some things you've experienced that you can pull from to add to that character.
Right. Right.
So it really takes some digging deep into yourself. And really not judging the character. And then the other thing that's very important, I'm just trying to think of some easy things that I could say. Backstory. This is probably one of the most
creating a backstory.
Importantest things I could say. Importantest, that's the word.
Importantest.
Well, you know, but it's something that Maya Angelou said one time. I think it was in Oprah's master class, if you watched it, her portion of it. But she said something that really fell on me when he said that, called she said that anything that's human, anything that is human is not foreign to me. And what she meant by that is any trait of human, like you, for example, being a murderer, being, you know, a philanderer, or, you know, a robber, that even though we would never find ourselves in those situations or want to be in those situations, but that is a human trait that is not foreign. And I thought about it as an actor, if we're playing a character of that situation where the father could be a pedophile or a criminal, you know, you have to go into I call a metamorphosis, or you have to, like he said, a no judgment zone, and say, well, you know, at the end of the day, I know this could never be me, but at the end of the day, regardless of whatever the circumstances, it could be me.
Right.
But I have to understand that, you know, this is a character and the character is human. I am human. Right. And I must walk into this role as in a no judgment zone and say, this is who I am in this character. Right. And, you know, it's just at the end of the day, I think a lot of people are scared to go into that. Well, there are people who won't allow themselves to be what they call vulnerable
like you said earlier, like transparent.
Transparent, yes.
You know, and the thing about that is, and you kind of touched on several points within what you were saying, you know, in your synopsis right there. The the thing that happens here is that when a person launches or steps out into an acting career as a mature person, one thing that they have to work on first is dismissing all of the issues of their own life, or knowing how to compartmentalize it. Because one thing about children actors is that they're very vulnerable. You know what I mean? They don't question it. They don't give you all of the issues. They just accept it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
So
yeah.
whereas mature actors, they have a problem in just accepting. And when you can't accept the character, then you really are judging the character. And as we always say, you shouldn't play the character. But one of the things that, like you said earlier on, Wes, is that pouring yourself out, emptying yourself, so therefore you can become that particular character. But it's very hard for mature people to be able to do that because we're always reasoning things by life.
What do you call that? The practice. You remember that? You remember when you get up and you expose your self, your fears, your trials and traumas.
Right.
You get up in front of a whole. What was that, y'all? We did that. Remember in class one time?
Exactly.
What was that? Was it auto bio or something like that? It was a strategy.
I'm sorry. It's just basically, what at that point is that, again, you just become transparent. You think of a story that opens you up, and you just allow that story to take hold of yourself. But you become, and then for whatever emotions that is, you start emptying yourself. So that means that it could come through tears, it could come through laughter, it could come through.
But what is it called?
Oh, wow.
What was that called?
It is Meisner technique.
That's the Meisner technique.
Yeah.
The Meisner
technique.
Okay, I wanted somebody else. That does work hand in hand with,
True.
opening yourself up to that character, correct? Is that? Yeah. Okay. All right.
It can.
Well, it can. One of the points, go ahead, Wes, I didn't say that, I'll let you go ahead. But the other point that we're talking about in Greg Allen's techniques and whatever the case in training is that mature actors, typically, and just for the sake of the conversation, some of our fellow African-American actors think that they have to act black in a role. You know what I'm saying? Rather than just being in a role. And one of the things I remember in Greg Allen's class, one of the classmates, a young lady that was there, she wrote a script that was a district attorney. And she was good at the delivery, but her actions were far more than what the posture of a district attorney. District attorney is not going to be a person all over the place, like flipping her head, giving attitude, walking across her, the person she's interrogating and getting all this time. And so Greg said to her, "What are you doing?" He asked the question, "What are you doing?" Well, she says, "Well, I'm playing my role." He said, "You're not playing a role, you're playing a character." And you became a character rather than playing or being an author of the script. So meaning that and he asked her the question, "Is this what a district attorney does?" And she said, "Well, as far as I know," he said, "No, absolutely not. You're playing you."
Yeah.
And go ahead. I'm sorry.
And I want to pivot on that.
Okay.
That's precisely where I was going with the backstory.
Yes.
Now, here's how detailed that backstory needs to be.
Uh-huh.
Any role that you take on, you need to find out every single detail of that role. Where
Right.
were you born? What day were you born? What region of the country were you in?
Right.
Were you from a one-parent household, two parents? Did you have siblings? Were you an only child? Were you affluent? Were you poor, impoverished, or what have you? Why is that important? I'm glad you asked. That's important because everything that you do from that inception to the point where we are, where this depiction takes place, is governed by that. You understand what I'm saying? So if you are a district attorney who grew up in the hood and you felt like you had, you know what I'm saying, and that's the way that character wants to be portrayed, then that makes sense. But a district attorney, by the time they become a district attorney, has had that polish.
Right, exactly.
So
Exactly.
And how did they get to law school? Did they get a scholarship?
Right.
Did they have to pay for it and they have to work? All of these things, they contribute to the not flawless, but authentic depiction of that role. So backstory is one of the most paramount things that's necessary for effectively portraying a role. That's my thing.
Any point on that, Earth?
Well, yeah, West covered a lot.
Okay.
Like just from that alone, you you should
Exactly.
be able to deliver. Let's see. If I was to add, and I'm just adding things that are techniques that actors can use right now. I'm saying before the role hits.
Right.
One thing that I found that a lot of actors don't have is a good grasp of the English language.
Oh,
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So,
yes.
like, one of the things that actors need to do is read. Just read. Just pick up a novel and read. Because when you get a script, you're not getting a movie. You're getting a script.
Good.
You see what I'm saying?
That's
so
good.
As the more comfortable you become with reading
and then comprehending as well.
and comprehending, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you'll go from interpretive reading to visual reading. You see what I'm saying?
That's good.
Well, when you read, you can see. A lot of times, like even the people that's listening now, if you open a book, most people read word for word.
Yes, they do.
I see the dog go down the street, and by the time you get to the end of it, your mind then puts together the imagery. You see what I'm saying? But what you should do is read I see the dog going down the street. You see what I'm saying? So it should come off as three segments, and that's it. You see what I'm saying? Because if you read like that, now what you're doing is you're not reading for words, you're reading for ideas.
Yes.
And if you read for ideas, you'll read for context.
Yes.
Now
the punctuations being your beats. The punctuations being your beats. Yeah.
Absolutely. See, now you can start to get, like Dylan said, the beats and the rhythm of the script. You see what I'm saying? Because you need to know that before you start creating a backstory that's not consistent with the script. You know what I'm saying? Because you missed it. Most people don't know how. Most I don't mean to be pejorative. I'm stop saying most, but actors that I have found who have had issues being able to grasp a character, 80% of the time it starts with the script. They didn't really understand the script, so they may come in and they're performing the line yelling. They're performing the line angry. Where if you really understood the context of it, the person is really sad. He's not angry. He's sad. But you missed that. You see what I'm saying? Because you came into it with your own preconceived notions. You didn't come into it with a blank slate, and you didn't let it tell its story to you. You told your story to it.
But did they read the whole entire scene or the whole entire script to even understand the scene that they were portraying? As most people, they get a script and they just read their character and that's it.
That's true.
They'll memorize the script. And that's what
they
didn't know the whole entire scene. Yeah.
But see, if you're comfortable with reading, right?
Oh well, yeah.
If you're comfortable with reading, then those cues will be innate to you. You see what I'm saying? Because as you're reading, you'll be like, nah, why is he acting like this? And it'll force you want to flip back and figure out why is he acting like this? But if you're not comfortable reading, you just want to read your little part and stop because you're really tired of reading.
Right.
You know what I mean? And here's a good test for everybody. If you read, and as soon as you start reading, within 10 minutes of you reading, you starting to get sleepy, that means you have poor reading skills.
Wow.
Ooh, I never thought about that.
That's true. Because you don't get sleepy 10 minutes into watching TV.
Oh,
right. So true.
I mean, add
so true.
What you're saying about reading.
That's so true. Right.
Another thing that's important when you take on a script, when you get it, if it's a side for those who audition and so forth, you get a side, which is a portion of the script.
Right.
To read for the audition, right? You should read everything that they're giving you beforehand, everything they're giving you afterward.
That's right.
And know your relationship with the folks that are in this production.
Yes.
Once you know your relationship, then you'll understand why does Tanya not like Bridget? Because Bridget was kicking it with John, before
Right.
Tanya and John got together. And
Exactly.
John still talks about Bridget like he still likes her, but Tanya, you understand what I'm saying? But
Exactly.
once you get all of that understanding, which comes from comprehending what you read, come on,
Right.
somebody, then
Yes.
that will properly enable you to effectively deliver that role.
All right. I love that. I love that. You know what? I knew that.
Oh, go ahead. Don't finish with this. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead and make your point.
But I was about to say, and are we still talking about theater? Or are we talking about filming? Because even with in general, because I know even in filming, don't you still need to act through without the words with the eyes? Because I think that's what some people still
communication.
Non-verbal communication.
Every single thing you do on stage in front of the camera matters. Every single thing you do. I'm gonna say this again. Every single thing you do. Where are your eyes looking? What's your eye line? You may hear actors ask that question if you're filming. What's my eye line? Know where they're looking. You understand what I'm saying? What are you thinking? Are you looking up in if you're looking up in the roof of your head or what have you? Are you thinking about something as that character, or are you trying to remember your lines? Huh? So all I'm saying is your nervous twitch. Like I've seen some brothers that they're going to be strong men, right? I'm talking about theater now, and they're supposed to be delivering a strong message, but they fidgeted and they moving. So now they look nervous. When you're strong and you know who you are, you stand firm, flat-footed, and you deliver your line.
Absolutely. That's
you
right.
understand me? Everything should be able to come forth from your eyes through the volume of your voice, the intensity of your singing.
Right. That's a beautiful point. One of the things that Greg Allen always does in his about that acting is always through the eyes. At the end of the day, because you can always tell a story. You can be. I can think about so many of his training techniques that he did to incorporate to teach people how to act through the eyes. And as you know, we've talked about Michael Caine's theory on that. And you guys, if you want to understand about the theory of acting through the eyes, Michael Caine's on camera. It's been out there for years, but it's a very, very helpful tool as to learning the purpose of non-blinking in a scene, what blinking does, how it distracts you, how it distracts the moment. It takes away from all of the things that are very beneficial to the character that you are developing or have developed. I want to go so deep and further this. Are you guys available again next week? Because I know we're really running out of time at this point. You available to kind of pick this up again next week?
Yeah.
I'm asking. You guys available next Saturday?
I think so. Let me see what's next Saturday's date.
What is next Saturday's date? I know we're still live, guys, because we really want to bring this to you. I mean, and dig even further because this is so helpful, especially from even we didn't get into like the public speaking platform that acting or developing acting skills helps you out to do as well. It's the 22nd is the date.
I should be. We'll be in separate locations, but I can be available during that time.
Okay, that works. Let's do this, gentlemen. Let's put a paper clip right here, and we will continue it. From where we are at this point and digging a little bit further because what this doing is that again, we're setting up a whole symposium where you're getting all this theory. Then you're going to hear from working actors. We've got a list of working actors that are going to become on Intervision, telling their stories, and at the end of this, you guys are going to be so powerfully impressed as to what this buildup. I'm getting lost of words in terms of trying to put it together, but it's going to be very powerful. So we encourage you, Truth Behind Truth listeners, definitely be here every week from this point forward because we're going to dig in this, help you out. Whether you're an actor, aspiring actor, a public speaker, internet preacher, teacher, lawyer, whatever, all of you have an opportunity to stand before people, and you want to be able to engage them from the moment that you're there. Okay. Guys, I appreciate you so much. Tell them again about your show every Tuesday night. What time?
7 p.m.
7 p.m. That is Eastern time. Eastern time. All right, that will be 4 o'clock our time.
Again, thank you so much for having us on Truth Behind the
Truth. No. I mean, we're setting up a thing that we're both going to be interacting between each other. But I really thank you guys for taking out your time tonight, really to make. at least an area of opening up of a window, because we did open up a window, but I was hoping to open up a door. But that window is so much information that came from the set that I hope that the actors that tuned in and those that will get that window, because it will. In this time where you're getting ready to start auditioning again, and this is the time to perfect that craft once again, to ignite that fire. That's what I wanted to do, to ignite your fire, so that you go and nail those roles, because it's time. It's time to see a color change in the industry. Okay, and more creditable actors of color need to be put out there at the end of the day. But you got to be as a servant of the craft in order to make that happen. Agreeable, guys?
Definitely. Absolutely.
You know, and that. So, guys, thank you so much. Remember, guys, get that coupon from T-shirt. Yeah. You got any Pearl out there, Earth, that you guys are promoting as far as Evan coaches point?
Now we're getting ready to put that up now. Everything is being redone.
Okay, excellent, excellent. So tune in for them with that as well, as far as the apparel that's coming out for Ava Coaches. If you need these guys, go to the website. If you're actually preparing for a role, be Mr. Day player, hire these guys. Okay, hire them. All right, to get yourself ready for that. You know, are you still doing auditions too, or are you auditioning? Are you getting people ready for auditions? Are you guys doing
definitely.
that?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But anyway, so reach out to the guys on the Ava Coaches Facebook page if you need help getting ready for an audition and on maybe not necessarily a day play, but on a major level. And a lot of you in the Atlanta area on a major level, get coached by these guys. I'm telling you.
Well, let me say this too though before we do that, because I you know me, I like to be very honest.
Yes.
Coach Earth is very aggressive. So
yes,
for those actors who are a bit timid, I'm not the right coach for you. I'm just gonna tell you that right now. I'm not the right coach for you. Now I say everything with love.
Right.
Is that what you call it?
That's what I call it. Cause here's the deal. If I don't care about you, I ain't gonna say nothing to you.
That's true.
You see what I'm saying?
That's true.
So
That's true.
I care about you. So it's going to come across strong. But the way that I look at it is this, and I'm going to let it go with this one. It is strong because before that script got to you, it was in a writer's mind. And that writer went through hell to get script from his mind to somebody else who would produce it. Then the person who decided, okay, I'm going to produce this, went through hell before they got it to you. So by the time it went through so many people, by the time it gets to you, it is fine line detailed. And if you go into an audition and you are bullshitting in that audition, you are an embarrassment to the entire craft. Not just you, the entire craft, and you will not walk in there on the back of my name. So I'd rather you say, I don't like Earth, he an asshole, than for you to sit through one of my classes.
And I'm going to tell you straight up, as a student of Earth, getting one ready for an audition, hear me clearly and understand me fully. Quick example.
Yes.
You talk about acting through your eyes, with your eyes, right? I had an audition where I was not to move my head at all.
Right.
All right. And I had to be very still and so forth and so on. I'll put it to you like this. It was only about a minute and a half, 2-minute script that I had to get ready. It took us about 4 hours overnight to get this part correct. If I messed up, if I missed one word, if I moved my head a little bit, this person here beside me would say,
do it again.
That ain't it. Do it again. 30 more times. And we'll go to sleep. And then he'll wake up again and then, all right, let's go. If I mess up, that ain't it. 30 more times. And then go back to sleep. So I'm telling you straight up, he is not lying to you.
Right.
So if you hey, holler at your boy. I'm a little nicer. But don't get it twisted. What you won't do is come up here and play. Hallelujah.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
Hallelujah.
I'm gonna say this last thing and then I'm out of here. My mantra personally is exceeding your expectations with excellence.
Wow. Repeat that again. Just give every syllable about that again. Listen, guys. What's it?
Exceeding your expectations with excellence.
Exceeding your expectation with excellence. Absolutely.
You got to be excellent at everything you do. And like what Earth said, you're not about to embarrass my name.
Amen. Amen.
It's pretty good out here in these streets, and we ain't finna mess it up. But you acting a jack.
Gotcha. Guys, thank you again so much. I mean, I really appreciate it. You know, I send the love. We send the love all the way. I send love. We send the love all the way from LA to Atlanta.
Yeah.
So, but again, next week, this time, 9 p.m., guys, on the East Coast, we're gonna dig in a little bit further. We're probably gonna pull some little bit more theory at you, some things from Chubbuck and Meisner, and bring all that together so you can start really digging in and developing, looking at your backstories and your characters, okay? Because it's gonna be great. And leading up to building great content, but we ain't even talked about that tonight. We're leading up there. We're leading up to it. Okay, go ahead. You had 1 point.
And I just want to say, and don't forget, check us out, Ava Coaches. We are every Tuesday at 7:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You'll catch us on your social media platforms where you'll be able to see where to tune in. We have several opportunities: LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitch, YouTube. Yes, Twitch. That's right. Yeah, and it's Twitch, TW. Okay. Hello. But yeah, check us out. Ava Coaches, Coach Wesley, Coach Earth, and yeah, we there.
Got it. Man, send you love. Peace out. Thank you so much. Everybody remember, again, Truth Behind the Truth every Saturday evening at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, and 6 p.m. on the what? West Coast. All right. Y'all have an awesome night. Remember the principles of Truth Behind the Truth. Love your creator, love yourself, and then extend that love to humanity. Amen. Y'all have an awesome night. Thanks for tuning in. Remember, get that t-shirt. Go to the Truth Behind the Truth page. Get that t-shirt. Truth Behind the Truth. Everybody needs to know what your authenticity is. Project your authenticity. That's what this all is about. All right. Y'all have a great night. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for our energy there back in Atlanta as well. Tech Genius. Out to Dr. Ish, and if you need a studio, the studios are actually in Atlanta. They are on reconstruction, but they'll be available. We'll let you know, guys, if you want to go in the studio. If you're developing a podcast for yourself, you need a studio, miking, and whatever the case may be. If you are an aspiring artist that has the right material that's ready to go to print, bring it to them. And also, Coach, you have a studio as well, right? You used to do in your studio, Coach Earth?
Oh yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Got you there. But we'll talk about it more later on next show then. Okay. All right. Y'all have a powerful night. Thanks for tuning in. Guys, we'll see you next week. We'll be in touch throughout the week talking to you guys. But anyway, have a great night, guys. Thanks for tuning in to what? The Truth Behind the Truth. Have a great night.
Yeah.